All right, you guys. I almost gave up on this thing because I'm away at the cottage and I, I can't hear a bunch of stuff. It's going a little bit nuts, and I'm just trying to do this from my laptop. And from the laptop, it wasn't working as smooth as it should be. So give me a second here. I'm going to make sure that you can hear all the things that are going on because today is a very important topic and I wanted to talk to you about it. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you guys know exactly what I am talking about. So, the 9 markers of health. This is the continuation series where everybody always wants to know what is it that we do to support our fertility naturally. And my answer to that is depends on where you need the most support. So I use these 9 markers of health to help you understand where it is that you need the most support. And some, of course, have a little bit more importance than others, but we never want to underestimate each single one of these because they all have a key role that they play in our health. And if you've been struggling with infertility for a long time, or if you've been told that everything is normal and you still can't get pregnant, this is the process that I take my patients through. And of course, we go into much more in depth into each phase to help you understand what's normal and what's not normal. Because what you have to remember when we're talking about a normal blood work result is it really depends on what's being tested. So if you only test 10 things and there's like 100 things that you can test and those 10 things come up as normal, that doesn't mean everything is normal. And this is what I'm really passionate about, to teach women to advocate for themselves, because if you can't get pregnant, which is a natural process for the female body to do, which is why we ovulate every single month. So if you're not ovulating every single month, or if your period is all over the place, something isn't normal and we need to investigate. And if we look at these 9 markers of health, we usually find some either big holes or a lot of little holes that need to be patched up, and you see that the body restores. So whether that's your energy comes back, your menstrual cycle regulates, you actually start to ovulate and notice when you're ovulating, your skin clears up, your digestion improves, whatever it is, we all have our own unique health. So we want to really we all have a unique body, and the way that our body talks to us is through symptoms. And so what I'm passionate about is teaching you what your body is talking to you, what it's trying to tell you, so you can get ahead of it. Now, if you want the handout, please comment below markers of health, and I'll make sure to get that to you. So the 9 markers of health, the one that we went through last time, is nutrition and diet. And if you see right next to it, there is digestion, right, below and to the left. Digestion and nutrition and diet are not the same thing. Nutrition and diet are the things that you need to eat for optimal fertility. There are specific dietary needs that you need to get your body ready, your hormone levels ready, your nutrient status ready in order to get pregnant, or to optimize that chance of getting pregnant really easily, supporting yourself through the entire pregnancy and postpartum. Digestion is how you're actually absorbing the foods that you're eating. So you could have the best diet in the world, but if your digestion is out of whack, meaning you're constipated, you have diarrhea, you feel bloated after you eat, you have heartburn, you have any discomfort in the diet, like you eat and it feels like there's a rock sitting in your stomach. If you have one stool a day, that's hard, versus multiple stools a day that are really loose and they're floating, and that actually means you're not absorbing fat. That's what we're going to break down in the digestion component. Don't get me wrong, the diet is really, really important, but sometimes if there's deeper underlying issues, whether it's your autoimmune conditions or toxicities or liver, gallbladder dysfunction, that are preventing you from absorbing the nutrients that you are getting from your diet, it's still important to eat a high quality diet because it's going to help improve that digestion. It should anyways, but there's a couple blind spots that we really want to be aware around digestion. So the frustrations that I see with digestion is that you've tried everything and nothing works. You don't think that you've tried, so the frustrations, sorry, is that you've tried everything and nothing is working. And what we actually, the other frustration is like, you don't even really know what's normal and what's normal. And because it doesn't really bother you, you assume that everything is fine. What we want is we want to really learn and understand what optimal digestion is, because digestion is the epicenter of your health. So I'm going to give you an example of a client who has a lot of hormone issues. Her hormones have basically tanked, and she's had food sensitivity tests done. She's never had a stool analysis done. So she knows her gut is not great because her appetite is really low. But for the most part, she has a bowel movement once a day. It's pretty well formed. There's no bloating or crazy pain unless she eats something that she knows it doesn't sit well with her. But here's the problem. If you don't have any hormone production, or if your hormones are all over the place, whether that's your estrogen is really high, testosterone is high, progesterone is low, whatever the combination is for you, please know that digestion is the epicenter of your hormone production and detoxification. So you need to absorb nutrients in order to be able to build the hormones that you need. You need to also get rid of excess bad hormones. So estrogen can break down into 3 different types, and one of them is more damaging and more carcinogenic than one is more beneficial. And so we want to make sure that we're getting rid of things and getting rid of toxins on a regular basis through our digestion. So the point here is, sometimes we fixate so hard on something else, we don't think that digestion is a problem. And so what I want you to do is become really aware of what upsets your stomach, what doesn't upset your stomach, what sits well with you in general, what brings you energy when you eat food and you feel energetic and vibrant, and what actually will feel like it's depleting you. So you get tired after you eating and you kind of want to take a nap. That's really, really common for some of my patients. Of course, it depends on your diet, but there's also hormones that are in play there. And the mistakes that I see people make is that they don't pay digestion enough attention. So they'll really hyper focus on hormones and hyper focus on all the other components, and they won't give enough attention to the digestion. And it's actually the epicenter of our health. So I want you to make sure that you really, really understand that. So to summarize, or to brief it before, I kind of gave the model of a house. So you need a foundation, and then you need really strong building material. The foundation is actually your sleep. It's not nutrition. If you don't sleep well, you're going to have a really hard time making sure that nutrition is on par and that you're digesting well, because lack of sleep messes up your hormones, skyrockets your cortisol, and we're going to talk about that more in our sleep module. But nutrition and diet and digestion, those are like the building material of the house. So you want brick, you want wood, you want good building material, as opposed to rotten wood or Cheetos, right? We can't build a very strong house out of Cheetos. So we need to make sure that we have the building blocks that we need. So nutrition, we really wanted to make sure we're eating high quality fats, high quality proteins, and eating the rainbow. So eating a lot of different variety micronutrients to support all the vitamins that you need to grow a healthy human, but also to have healthy hormones and have energy and vitality yourself. The things that we want to avoid is, of course, things like processed foods and high sugar foods, because those are very low nutrient value, and they can also mess up our hormones like blood sugar. And then we want to stay away from a lot of cold foods. So again, I have that live. Go ahead and watch it if you are interested to hear about the nutrition and diet. So for the digestion, here are the things that you should feel when you eat food. First of all, if you just take a moment to sit down and slow down before you eat, you're going to be able to tell if this food is going to sit well with you or not. So taking a moment to relax your nervous system and to become in tune of what you are about to eat is going to give you a lot of feedback. I don't know if you've ever had this feeling of like you go to eat something and you're like, I don't know about this. Like before you even eat it, you just look at it and you go, I don't know about this. And then you would eat it and then you actually got sick. That happened to me a couple of times. But the truth is, and sometimes it happens and you don't even realize, but the truth is, we're so fast on the go that we don't even actually know how the food that we eat is making us feel. So if you just take a moment to slow down and say, take a breath, relax your nervous system, and then say, is this food going to make me feel good? Is this food going to nourish me, or is this going to upset me? And you'll get a lot of feedback from that. The next step for feedback is when you actually eat the food, I want you to pay attention to how you feel. Do you get any bloating? Do you get any discomfort? Do you get any nausea, any heartburn? Are you stressed and overwhelmed when you're eating your food? Or do you feel left out? Like I have a lot of women who will diet and they'll have a different food than everyone else in the family. And that's a big no-no, right? We're trying to build a family. So you and your partner should be eating very, very similar foods, right? If not the same. It makes meal prep easy. It makes you a team, and it makes it easier to bring in a child into this world who is going to sit down and have meals with you as well. So feeling connected, not just to the food that you're eating, but also to the people that you are eating with, slowing down, and then actually not having any digestive distress. So if you have a lot of digestive distress after you eat, then we have to look at what is going on with your digestion, right? So there's a couple things that I want you guys to be aware of. Leaky gut. Now, let me know in the comments below if you've heard of leaky gut. So just comment leaky gut because I'm really curious to see if that's something that you have heard of. But basically what happens when there is a lot of stress and we are eating foods that are not very good for us. So higher processed foods, maybe too much dairy, too much gluten, too much sugar, and antibiotics. All these things bombard our stomach, right? They bombard our microbiome. And the lining of the gut is supposed to be really closely knit. And as we bombard it with all these things that I just mentioned, it starts to separate. Because you're bombarding it. It's like you're beating down on this lining, so it just can't hold as tight, so it starts to separate. And what that does is allow for food particles that are much larger than what our system recognizes to get into the bloodstream. So you're not breaking down the food as well, you're not absorbing the nutrients as well, and now you have much bigger food particles flowing through into your bloodstream. Your immune system then goes, what the hell is this? I don't think this should be in here. And it gets the immune response on. An immune response on with food is where we get the food sensitivities from. So when I look at food sensitivity testing and I see a lot of foods, all I know is that the gut is really has very poor integrity. So we need to close it back up, and we need to, yes, remove some of the foods, but we also need to provide some support with lifestyle and supplements and, like I mentioned, diet to help bring that in. So basically, the leaky gut is something that I want you to be really, really aware of because it can cause a lot of issues. An upregulated immune system makes it very difficult for a pregnancy to occur, as well as for the implantation to occur, because the first reaction of the sperm and the egg is that of the immune system. So if the immune system of the female is really upregulated, it's going to make that interaction very, very difficult. And like I said, for fertilization and implantation to occur. The other thing that will happen is you will feel depleted. So whether that's B12, iron levels can go down. Energy will go down, B vitamins in general, because vitamin D levels will go down. You're just going to be more inflamed, and everything is related. So it's not just this one component. And now you might not have crazy digestive symptoms. So you might have more fatigue, you might have more mood issues, you might have menstrual cycle issues. It's always really important to look at the gut. And that's really, you guys, the point of this live and the point of me coming on and showing you all of this information is so you can start to see it, this whole picture. Because what I have is women come to me saying, please give me your supplement protocol, please give me your nutrition tips. And the information that I tell about the supplement and nutrition shouldn't be that different that hopefully you get from other alternative healthcare providers, because it's generic advice. You need CoQ10 to optimize your egg quality. But the question is much deeper. Why do you have low CoQ10? And do you have low CoQ10? Do you actually need that? And so when you are struggling with infertility, I want you to look beyond just, oh, I need this one thing to fix it. I need you to step back and have this bigger picture in mind. So we're eating well. And for digestion, what you are looking for is to eat food, to not have any discomfort, including heartburn, digestive distress of any kind, cramping, constipation, diarrhea, or even breakouts. So you will get to a point when you learn, how your body works is, if I eat this, I'm going to break out in the next 24 to 72 hours. And so, for example, that's the case for me with dairy. I have to be very careful with dairy. I'll literally break out the next day if I eat dairy. So that's just something that I've learned about myself. So digestion is really important to look at. And one of the best ways to do it is, of course, to see what's going on, checking in with yourself when you are eating. But the other component of it is, if you want to get a deeper look, is to actually do some testing, like a stool analysis, to see what's going on in the gut microbiome. What are your bugs doing? Are you absorbing and digesting the food that you are eating on a regular basis? Is there any inflammation? And, do you have parasites? Do you have other yeast or any other kind of bugs that are just not supposed to be there, and they're depleting you of nutrients? Okay, so summarize, nutrition and digestion are not the same thing. Really important to still have a high nutrient dense diet, but you have to make sure that the digestion is working well in order to absorb the highly nutrient dense diet that you're putting so much effort into eating. If you have digestive distress, I highly recommend that you work with a professional like myself, and you actually get a look inside as to what is going on in your gut, so you can supplement accordingly, as opposed to taking generic advice. When you supplement according to you, according to what your body needs are, the results are remarkable and they speak for themselves. You feel significantly better right away, and you don't rely on the supplements for the rest of your life. This is really, really important. You learn how to work with your digestion. You learn what your digestion needs and what you need in order to feel your best self. Okay, so what I'd love for you guys to do, if you want the handout that I was sharing, go ahead and comment markers of health and I'll send it your way. And what I'd love for you to tell me is, what was the most kind of aha moment for you throughout this live? And I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. Big love, and we'll chat then.